And number 4 is This is Spinal Tap. This is directed by Rob Reiner, and it's a mockumentary about a fictional rock band named Spinal Tap and how they pretty much evolved from, I think, the early 60s all the way into the 80s. And this is pretty much a mockumentary about the end of their career, like their last touring days when they're just burnt out old rock stars. And it's just a hilarious movie because a lot of the stuff that they make fun of was actual stuff that happened in real life to real life bands. Like the little Stonehenge monument that they wrote down the wrong dimensions for it. It was supposed to be like 8 feet, but they accidentally wrote down 8 inches. Apparently that actually happened to Black Sabbath in real life, and that's where they got the idea from it. But yeah, just a classic comedy. It's the only mockumentary that I can just watch over and over and over again. And number 3 is Reds, which stars Warren Beatty, Diane Keaton, Jack Nicholson, and Warren Beatty produced and directed it. And this has to be the biggest project that he's ever undertaken. And this isn't a movie for everybody, because unless you're kind of interested in what it's about going into it, you're probably not going to like it. I mean, maybe you will because it relies heavily on story rather than action or anything else. But basically, the story is about an American journalist, John Reed, who reports over in Russia during the Russian Revolution. And he kind of goes through certain trials and whatever when he's over in reporting. I mean, it doesn't all go his way when he's over in Russia. And of course he comes back because he has a good word for the Russian Revolution, so he comes back to the United States, and they're him and his wife, which is played by Diane Keaton, they're kind of put on trial there for not necessarily being traitors, but for sedition. And it's just a really good movie. It's a drama, so it relies heavily on story, but the story is really good. And Warren Beatty, he nailed down most of the historical points of the story. I mean, he has to kind of enlarge the story a little bit by adding more drama that didn't probably actually happen, but he did such a good job with it. And I mean, the DVD's got 2 discs. You have to get up and change the discs at intermission. So it's like a 3-hour movie, but it's another one of those movies that you just got to put the time in to watch it because it's so good. You can't not watch it. Number 2 is Planet of the Apes, the original one, starring Charlton Heston. This movie, it's kind of like Star Wars. It kind of rolls together so many different stories and topics. I mean, Planet of the Apes is a commentary on politics, religion, evolution, mankind, society, classes. It's got everything just rolled into one, and it's all put together so subtly that a lot of times if you're just watching it for fun, you don't even think about that stuff. But if you go back and watch it, you kind of see the commentary on those different things. And basically it's about this group of astronauts that are going to another planet, and they get stuck in like a slipstream, or they somehow go forward in time and crash back on Earth thousands of years, 2,000 years I think, after they left. And they think they're on a different planet. And basically this is a timeline where humans used to keep apes as pets, and basically mankind killed itself off. They say through, at the end of the movie, they say it's through, you kind of assume it's through nuclear war. And apes then kind of evolved to a higher order to where they're not quite on the level that mankind was with the technology, but they're up there. And it's kind of the reverse. It's like how the modern day world is now, just flipped on its head, where humans are kept as pets and treated like animals. And it's just a really well done movie, and the acting is so good. And the makeup and costumes in the movie are also really good. I mean, the apes, their lips move actually accurately when they're saying the words. They have emotions on their faces. Just the costumes, the makeup, and all of that are just great in this movie. And my number one favorite movie of all time is King Kong, the original one. This was produced and directed by Marion C. Cooper, and it stars Fay Wray and Robert Armstrong, but really, I mean, the star of the movie is King Kong. And this pretty much marks the first time in cinema where somewhat a non-person has been a star of a movie. He was just a puppet, but they pretty much made this puppet lifelike and made him the star of this movie. And this movie, in my opinion, is still the measuring stick when it comes to animation of any kind, whether it be mainly stop motion animation. This is the yardstick which everything gets measured to, in my opinion. And it's really hard to stack up against this movie because for 1933, what they were able to do with King Kong was really, really incredible. I mean, they had some of the time they were having the actors projected in the background and then animating King Kong around what the actors were doing, frame by frame. And other times they would animate Kong and then shoot the footage based on the footage of the animation. And then somehow they put this all together into this amazing, amazing movie. A lot of people still don't know how they were able to accomplish these things. And on the bonus features that I have on the Blu-ray I have of it, Peter Jackson tries to recreate the Lost Spider Pit sequence. He finds it incredibly hard, and he's one of the better directors of our day, and he finds it incredibly hard to recreate the stop motion effects and animation that they used in that movie. And they made this all the way back in 1933, so I don't know how they accomplished half the stuff they did in this movie. The story is pretty basic. It's typical Beauty and Beast story, but you look past that when you see it because you see all the effects and the emotion in Kong's face and stuff, and it's just amazing how they were able to do that. And it kind of sucks now because, I mean, Willis O'Brien, the stop motion animator that did all this stuff for Kong, I mean, you can't, he's dead now, so you can't ask him any of his techniques or anything that he used. So a lot of the secrets of the movie are just lost because when they made the movie, they didn't really, I guess, think to say how they did some of the things. Like now, you always got bonus features on your DVD, like, oh, we did this and we shot this way and did that. Well, they didn't really think to do that for King Kong. I guess they kind of wanted it to be a mystery, like King Kong was actually real. Maybe that's what they were going for, but it'd be nice to know, I mean, how they did some of this stuff. It'd be really interesting to find that out, but yeah, that's definitely my favorite movie of all time, hands down. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You might even had some movies on here that you like too, so thanks guys.